Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Karina, good morning to you. Ionis, good morning. Exponential, how you doing, buddy? Okay, so far it's been quite obvious, isn't it? The moves, we've had 2 legs up, 2 legs down, and we're now moving up. I was very tempted to take that higher low. What I liked about it is we'd had 2 clear legs up, we'd had a correction with 2 little legs down, a few attempts to go higher and 2 legs down. So little channel with a break. So we'd made 2 complete legs and there was a higher low. I was very tempted to take that. That's kind of a the gorilla trader type of move. That was kind of his bread and butter, riding it to the top. I was very tempted, and I mean, if I'd have taken that one and potentially rode it up, I mean, look at that. I mean, even if you're following in each bar up, you'd be there 13, 12, 13 points before you got stopped out. That's the type of move that pushes up and breaks highs. I was very tempted to take it. It's weird, isn't it? I just left it alone, but there you go. So market is dropping in about a minute. That ATR is still a little high for me, so just going to keep an eye on it. I like to get it around about 4. And that, so no trade yesterday. It was kind of a day of patience. Not really a lot we could do yesterday, to be honest with you. It was, I mean, even Max said it wasn't a great trading day. I think he only marked a couple of high probability trades. One of them, I think, I ummed and ahed about this one. We had kind of that one. That was one I looked into. It wasn't a fantastic signal bar. We'd had 2 legs up, 1 leg, 2 leg, and then we'd had a second. I was looking for a higher low, but my bar wasn't fantastic. And there was another one as well. It's just one of those things. Sometimes with those days, you just, I mean, you don't know it's going to go down here. You're just watching it down and you're looking for something and looking for something. And before you know it, you're down here, and there's not a lot of trade. So, market is open. So, we got a channel, a break, a new high. So I'm guessing it's likely going to test this top. Whether it gets up there. Michael, hi from Austria. Fantastic. I spent a week in Austria once in fact, I spent 2 weeks in Meyerhofen and Kitzbühel. I went there for work years ago when I was a youngster. Well, when I was about 21. Found it hard to get work at the time, so I ended up moving around to France. So, but beautiful place. Austria, fantastic. And I'm guessing, mind you, I know I have a niece who's in France at the moment in a ski resort. She's due back, but they've just had an absolute mountain of snow. So whether you have as well or not, I don't know. But usually it's kind of going about this time of year, isn't it? But yeah, they've had a big truckload of the stuff. So, channel, break, new high. Channel's already played out. Are we going to push up and test these highs? It's a tough one. I will say there looks like there's a little bit of support there. We've had a couple of bounces. Trouble is, we've already had a break and a new high, so I got a kind of pause going for longs just at the moment. So what I like is if you had ridden it up and you'd have put your stop at that previous swing, you'd have still been okay. So channel up with a break, 1 attempt to go higher, Second attempt to go higher now. Is this going to get up there, or is this going to start to fall? This is kind of a penguin setup, push up, 2 attempts. Okay, I'm a bit cautious about looking for a long here because we've had a break and made 2 attempts higher. Well, mind you, we've come back down below that EMA and pushed up strong. Well, we had. I'm just cautious because we've had a break and a new high, and I know the penguin guy, the penguin trader, those kind of the trades he takes when he has a break, 2 attempts to push higher, often he'll write that down. So you've got to be so careful. On this chart, there is a lower high there, which is possibly trapped. Trouble is, it's not off the bottom. So my guess is these are vulnerable now. Interesting that there is a triple test there, but I'm nervous because we've had 2 attempts to push up. So I just can't get into this. Sean, did you watch Penguin's video yesterday? He can really hold on to his trades. Yeah, he can. Yeah, I did. He's trading slightly different, isn't he? He used to wait for a push above that EMA and jump in there, but in a lot of cases now he's buying here, putting his stop down here, giving it more space, and putting his... In fact, I looked on his website earlier. I know he's got a new website, but yeah, he's... hey, Jan, how you doing, buddy? He's trading slightly different. A lot of the times, he would wait for a move through the EMA to indicate we're pushing up, and then jump in there. But he's doing it different now. He's jumping in here, he's putting his stop down here, and his profit up here. I'm not too sure exactly what he's doing, but I think he's a great trader, I do. So if you do like that style, I think he's a really good bloke to watch. I mean, if you watch his kind of bar by bar analysis, he reads those charts like a palm reader, and really does. So you can't go long here, in my opinion. Wasn't a good bar. There is going to be liquidity here, so break, matching low. His stops are getting bigger. Yeah, they are. Too big for me. Well, yeah, I think it's a case of, well, I'm on minis at the moment. We're at 5, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. So there is a possible higher low, though. We've had a break and a new low. It's really tempting, that is. I'm just cautious at the moment because we've had 2 attempts to push higher, and that worries me. I mean, there is going to be stops there. I mean, you could argue it's 3 attempts. The bit is we've already made a new high from here. So we've had a break and a new high, but we've also made 2 attempts to push higher. So that makes me nervous about getting in long. Now, all of a sudden, look, that is not what you want to see. I'm guessing this is coming down. It's tempting to short that, but it's such a big bar, and I just don't want to trade at the moment. It's a bit messy. It may go up, it may come down. Things flickering around. It's very tempting, but when you say that, that's panic mode, that is. You took that long, yeah. I don't think it was a bad trade at all. You know, we've kind of had a break and a matching low. I don't think it was a bad trade at all. My only slight concern is we've had a break and 2 attempts to push higher. But you would expect this to, after this, to push up. So, yeah, I don't think it was a bad trade at all. But I bet you, I bet you needed a change of underwear when that started coming down, didn't you? Put it this way, if I'd have taken that trade and I'd have seen that, I'd have thought I'm out of this for sure. I'm surprised that did come back and then push up strong, but yeah. You took that long for 5 points. Good on you, mate. Yeah, I don't think it was a bad trade at all. Definitely not. But what is going on here now? Yeah, we kind of had a matching low. I definitely think you could say triple test. The trouble is, I like to have a triple test before we've made a new high. Technically, it's already played out. So when we have a second attempt, you never know whether this thing's going to take a nosedive. And in all honesty, when I saw that trigger and come down, I thought, that's it. This thing's coming short. It was close to stop loss. Yeah. I mean, when you saw that push up and then come down immediately, you know, you've got to think, I mean, there's a higher low there. In fact, there's a failure. I'm guessing it will push up. I just don't want to go high into there, but I'm guessing it's going to push up. Dan's looking at the 3,000 tick chart as well. Interesting. In fact, I will say on the 3,000 tick chart, it looked better. That was off the ground a little bit too much for me. But on the 3,000 tick chart that Mac's looking at, that looked much better. That looked a clear triple test. Look at that. It did trigger and it came back down, but it never broke below it. So he's looking at the 3,000. I certainly think it's worth looking at other charts as well. Maybe a little bit slower. We're going to break new high. But then we didn't get a bearish bar up here like we did there. So 2 legs back. Interesting. So that would be 2 legs. So plenty of points available there if you can hold. But yeah, somebody mentioned Penguin, he can hold. He can, yeah. I think, isn't he trading something like 15 contracts or 12 contracts? Something like that, yeah. He's a patient guy, isn't he? I think he just looks at the process and trades it, and there we go. But yeah, he can hold. The trouble is, when you're used to scalping 2 to 3 points, as much as you kind of want to hold, when we get something like that or something like that and get in there, it's so hard. I just find it too nerve-wracking, I do. Yes, I think these were Dan's. I think one of them's... Okay, that looks like the 2000 tick chart to me. That's the 3000. So he's got both of them, so that's interesting. Definitely interesting. I suppose the good thing about the 3000 tick chart is it works about 50% slower. So you've maybe got a little bit more time. I might have a chat with him later and just ask him why he decided to do it. Like I didn't think that. Trend up right. 2000 tick chart looks right. 3000, so I'm assuming. Right, yeah. Okay, we've got some news coming up in about 15 minutes, so just keep that in mind. So this market is kind of robotic at the moment. We've got 2 perfect legs up, 2 perfect legs down, a leg up, 2 perfect legs back with a leg up. So it's really kind of working. I don't know, yeah. So keep in mind there is a gap, isn't there? Up here. Just going to lock it. So that is that gap. Now, whether we'll get up there, I don't know, but it's just to kind of let me know where it is. So it's really, really working very robotic. 2 legs up, 2 legs back, 2 legs up. So the gap was it from yesterday? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It is frustrating when you see that move like that and you think there's potential 25 points you could have had there. But after this, you'd at least expect to get to that top. Yeah, there may be a channel there. We've got a touch there, a little bounce there, and we're working. Make this a bit bigger. We're working along that line there. We push up, we go sideways, we push up, and we're touching, we're closing right at the same place there. So I don't think that's too bad. So channel break, new high, lower high there. I'm guessing it's probably going to get back to the EMA. Trouble is, if there is a channel, it could bounce off that midline. Got to be cool. There's a nice tray, absolutely. So, little micro with a break and a new low. It is 2 legs back. It always make me nervous, these. I find second entries not as reliable as things like higher lows. Yeah, I've got news coming up as well in about 9 minutes. Two for two. Good on you, mate. Okay, so we're at this possible channel. Trouble is, we've had 2 legs, so I'm a bit cautious here. So just going to consider that 2 legs for now, I think. So we have got overnight highs here. So so we may be reacting to that. Does look like a little micro channel to me with a break. Got 3 little bars there with a break. So I'm gonna use that. I don't think there's a bigger channel there. There may be, but to me it does look like a little 3-bar micro with a break. Okay, so we've got news coming up in 5 minutes. So just keep that in mind. Don't get scared, Karina. You'll be all right. I'll look after you. It's hard to know really whether this thing's going to continue down. I mean, who knows? I mean, it may. This kind of looks a bit sideways. We had 2 legs up, a little bit sideways, but you know, we've had 2 legs up, 2 legs back, 2 legs up. Are we going to have 2 legs back? Who knows? Who knows? We have got that gap up there, so it'd be interesting to see whether this heads for that gap. So on that second chart, mine, there is a higher low, but it's a little bit congested. And with this news coming up, if it does start going sideways, we could get interrupted by that news, which is 2 minutes away. There we go. So Thomas Wade has got that. Maybe it's 2 legs up. I'm guessing it's probably going to go from there. 2 legs up, 2 legs back, and then we start to trend. So news coming up. Not sure. Okay, news coming up in about 15 seconds, so make sure you're flat. Okay, so news has done nothing really. You wouldn't have even known. Nifty little short here. Careful going short. You're not about there, are you? Oh, there. Yeah, this thing's heading for here. It does that, doesn't it? Gives you a little big bearish, gives you a little bearish bar, triggers your stop shout. Gives you another bearish bar, triggers your stop shout. Same again there. Push down, bearish bar, triggers your stop shout. Well, that's the type of day that will rip you up. Try and call tops. Yeah, you really can't, can you? At the moment, it's pretty much started how yesterday started. Maybe not quite as, but we're pretty much just coming down with this. You know, we're pretty much going up at the moment. So it's definitely bullish. No argument there. Now, whether this is a channel, I don't know. Thomas Way's got it like that. It doesn't fit terrible. We're kind of working, at the right place. If you took that up to the tops, I was just seeing if it was working with the midline. I don't think it really matters too much. But, we've had 2 legs up. We've come back. We've bounced at overnight highs and we're off again. So my guess is it's probably a channel of sorts. The trouble is we're back here. Now, at the time, my concern was channel break new high, but we came back and we did bounce. I was very tempted with that, but I left it. It was quite a big bar, but it clearly worked. So we clearly had 2 legs up. Then we had a little micro with a break. We came down, but there's no entry here, unfortunately. It wasn't terrible here. I did say there was a higher low, but my only concern is it's just congested. So it's just too risky for me. And not only that, news was pending. So you never quite know medium impact news. Sometimes it just, lately, the last 6 months, it's got a tendency to just shoot in odd directions. I've never really paid any attention for the first, for the first 2.5, 3 years. It's only the last sort of 8 to 10 months maybe that it started to just spaz out from time to time. It just, so you never quite know what you're going to get. So the simple answer is just stay flat. But it was coming to that area. I think at the time we were about, I don't know, a few minutes before. So you can't do nothing. And on this chart, there's nothing anyway. I am looking at that 1,000 tick chart here as well. Sorry, 3,000 tick chart. Dan's been looking at it. So if he thinks it's worth a look, then yeah, maybe. It does slow things down a fraction as well. It's about 50% slower. So, I mean, it's pretty much working really neatly with legs at the moment. We've got kind of 2 legs back, 2 legs up, 2 legs there, 2 legs back, 2 legs back. And even in here as well, leg and a leg, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. It's really, it doesn't often do this, be this accurate with the legs, but it's just, and if it continues, it may be a lot easier to get in. Obviously, we got to wait for a setup. That's the key. Practicing staying out as important. Practicing, absolutely. I had 3.5 hours yesterday of no trades, which I'm pleased about. I've got no problem with that. If I can sit here for 3.5 hours and not take a trade, I've had a little bit of a sting lately and a few hiccups. I don't think I'm going to get any money this month. I may do. It depends. I had that one loss, couple of wins, 2 or 3 wins would land me something. So we'll see. I'm more concerned with just keeping the accounts and not screwing them. Yeah, it is slower, isn't it? ATR's down better though. It's back down to 4 now, or more or less. That's a much better number. Well, slightly under now. So it does seem like we're almost getting a repeat of yesterday's. It's kind of like what they call these, a V-shaped reversal. A big move down followed by a big move up. So I think the chance of filling this gap is pretty high. I think the way this thing's moving. Trouble is, it's finding a way in. Pretty much yesterday, like Max said, just wasn't a lot of setups. Maybe 1 or 2 high probabilities. I didn't have a great bar on one, and there was another one. I waited for a lower high, so it's just one of those things. Sometimes it just happens. You know, we tend to like these days because if you can get into a trade, you know, if you hold runners, you know, days like this is where you make more money on your runners. I don't take my runners. Now, if I do see a nice, you know, channel or something, a nice correction, I will hold under certain circumstances. I just don't see a great deal, but really there just wasn't a lot and it just kept coming. You know, we had a correction there and then down again. But, you know, so far, right from literally from the open, we had that bearish bar, another bearish bar, then it turned and it hasn't stopped since. So I'm guessing we're going to recover a lot of this and quite likely fill that gap by the end of the day, and well, even might be the end of the morning at this rate. 18, we're only about 25, 28 points shy of getting into this area where this gap is. We just got to come back, really, ideally back here in an ideal world. ATR's nice now. I like it. Once it's below 4, I'm all right with that. Okay, let's see if we can get somewhere here. Okay. Yeah, so Dan's chart is basically the same as mine, more or less. He's gone from there. I don't think we need this. So that makes sense. Okay, Dan's chart. So hopefully if we can get second entry or something, then we may get something. But sometimes it's frustrating because sometimes it just turns. You know, I know some people will just jump in there to pull back, but we got to wait for a setup. So channel break, new low, I think. I'm just going to get an order ready just in case something comes up. Okay, possible second entry long off the key entry point. Let's see how we get on here. Not what I expected. It's quite a good job it never triggered, isn't it?
Order canceled.
I think. 2 legs up. I wonder if we're moving more at an angle. Not sure. Shame there. I thought that was going to work out nice. Little channel break, new low, right off the key entry point. That would have been a kind of a nice entry if it had worked. No. I'm kind of glad it didn't, because it was just finishing a bit shy of that EMA. It wasn't a huge risk, but I'd have preferred just that little bit more of a push up. But the only issue I have, depending on how you've got your channel, we're not getting to the top here. So in other words, sometimes that will mean a break or possibly a slightly different channel. Maybe something like that. So I'm just sticking clear. I'm staying clear of a short at the moment. Is there a wider channel there? There may well be. I think there may be. So if this is going to continue up, it'd be nice to get another correction, because we've had 2 legs, another 2 legs. So it'd be nice to get a correction and then hopefully a further push up. But when it comes away from the top, I mean, I'm granted we've only been up here once this high, but for me, we've had 2 pushes up. It could be an issue that it's coming away from the top. See, on this other chart here, we'd had a little micro with a break and a new low. Now we have had a bullish bar here. So, we bouncing off support there. I'm staying out of a long trade here, because just in case it triggers you and then comes down for a second. But on this other chart, on my second chart, we've had a little channel with a break and a new low. But depending on how you've got this, there's something's not right about this. A 3,000 tick chart looks okay, actually. That actually looks nice right off the key entry point. That looks nice. We'll see. Maybe we can use it as a guidance. Just avoiding longs here, just in case, because that looks like a little channel, and what'll often happen is you'll jump in here, and it will trigger you, and then come down and stop you out. Unless there is some kind of a different channel there may be. Not sure. There could be a spike in channel. It's not unheard of, is it? Yeah, ATR, much better, isn't it? Much better. Fail second entry long. Depends whether you see it as a break. I suppose it probably is. The trouble is, with such a big channel, it rarely just does that. But that's what concerns me. So, little channel with a break. Let's see if this looks any better. Trouble is, sometimes the different charts can look slightly different. I mean, it's negligible, isn't it? I think you have to assume it may be a break. What you can see is a double top. Yeah. Trouble is, depending on what you see in it, it is starting to lose a little bit of momentum. Yeah, I mean, even if, you know, I did think, well, maybe there's something like that. And it's possible, but even now, we're still not getting to the top here. So I don't think it is. I just think it's just losing a little bit of steam. So maybe a couple of legs back. Maybe we need a correction to push up. I certainly wouldn't want to get in here. It's kind of in the middle of this. To me, looks like we may have a couple of legs. So getting in here is premature for me, so I'd expect maybe something like that. I mean, it's a guess. I still think there's a good chance we get up to this gap. I can't see us doing it like this. We're losing momentum. We've got to get a bit of a pull back here, and a 2 legs back, or even a triple test, or whatever we want to call it, I think may give us that interest, or encourage enough buyers here to get in. So if I put that there and take that back, we're kind of, we've hit this point, haven't we? We've struggled there. We've brushed through it. We've bounced off it once. We bounce off it a second time. Sometimes resistance becomes support, and so on. So maybe a couple of legs back if we can get something decent, or, then there may be an option to push up. It would be nice. Let's see how our luck folds. So that's what we want. Channel with a break, and then a new low. That will give us 2 legs back. Can't go long here. It's right in the middle of this. So hopefully this triggers and then comes down for a second leg and tests this area. Okay, that's triggered and needs to come down now. Okay, leg and a leg. Let's see what happens. Just going to get an order here just submitted. In case. I want this to come down a little bit lower, really. It's very tempting, isn't it? Trouble is, it's bloody huge. 1, 2. See if we can get a triple test. I don't like that. Yeah, it's kind of pushing off, but 1, it's 23 ticks, and 2, I'd have preferred it sitting sitting on that line. That's the only way I'd have taken that. And it may work, but I'm not getting involved in that, especially now. That's not what you want to see. It's just not in the right place, really. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new low, break this area and then turn bullish, and that may interest me. As I say, it may work, it depends. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't make a damn bit of difference what you do, it pushes up anyway. It actually doesn't look that bad on the 3000 tick chart because it's sat on top of that. We got 2 legs back, and it is a second entry long. And it's at that EMA, but I'm just not getting involved. I've only just started looking at this. I'm not trading it just yet. I just want to see how it plays out. It's going to be 50% slower because of the extra 1000 ticks. So maybe something that, you know, comes of interest. But at the moment, I'd just rather it at least test this a little bit lower. So if you consider that one test, this a second test. If we can come down now, take out any liquidity here, that I would consider a third test or a triple test. It might work. Depends. Just looking on that 3000 tick chart, there's a lower high there. If it breaks above there, it may not come down. So that's the second leg. That doesn't look too bad there. So this is crunch time. I'm hoping it doesn't, but see, I mean, if you buy this area, depending on how far you're going, you may put your stop down here, which still might help. Because it may come down a third time, but if it does come down a third time, I think it'll push up anyway. So the trouble is we have such tight stops, you've got to get it right. Because sometimes it'll do this. If it's a bit of a weak position, a little bit too far from that EMA, sometimes it'll drop down, pick off any liquidity here, and that'll give it momentum. But if you've got a bigger stop, you know, say your stop's down here. So for instance, Penguin, he's changed things now. So let's say he gets in here. He might have his stop here, and he might have his take profit up here, or he may get even a bit lower. Stop here. So even if it comes down again and clears this liquidity, there's still enough space down here just to give it, you know, to give it that little bit of a turn so it pushes up. He's a smart trader, Penguin is. But it does look like it's slowly grinding, so it may just turn and drop, or it may push up. Who knows? I'm hoping it does drop quickly. And if it does, then I'm guessing it will test these lows again. Yeah, Dan said below the EMA is a concern. So he never took that. Not only is it below the EMA, it hasn't quite hit support enough for me, unfortunately. I'm just going to shut
Order
that trade down
canceled.
and see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to take a bathroom break. I'll be a quick minute. Oh, that's frustrating, isn't it? It's too risky to take that, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a second entry long, but it's under that EMA. It's just too far from that. It is frustrating to see that, but what can you do? That's trading. So that looks like a correction. So pops up a triple test. How do you feel about counter trend? I just wouldn't do it at the moment. Counter trending when it's like this, you're just going to get chopped up. Well, I certainly do anyway. I've tried it before in the past, just doesn't work. Do you know, strangely enough, when I've revenge traded in the past, that's all I seem to do is counter trend trade. Why, I don't know. Because I've always had it drummed into me from Matt that you don't counter trend trade, but for some odd reason, when I have revenge traded in the past, it's the only thing I do. I just don't quite get why. Strange. So the 3000 tick chart is worth looking at. That actually looked okay. 2 legs back. You know, we got 2 legs back. Now, yeah, I had this here on the other chart, expecting it to possibly come down. But the fact that it was above the EMA and there was a lower high trapped, it worked. So for me at the moment, this market is really bullish. It looks like it's going to fill that gap. So that may have been a reason to take it on the 2000 tick chart. But on here, it's just a little bit cloudy, isn't it? It's not super clear. It's a little bit below that EMA. But you know, that's the frustrating thing about trading. Sometimes it just doesn't, you don't get it. You know, if you take that any other day, a lot of time it'll trigger you and it'll look like it for a minute. It'll come down, stop you out, pick up any liquidity here. Not that there would have been a lot. I can't see any buyers buying here. They may have bought here just for the fact that we've came down and bounced at support or old resistance. But, you know, if you do nothing, it continues up. The second you get in there, it'll trigger you, come down, stop you out, have a bounce here, and then give you a... for me, it's because Mac mostly marks low probability green trades after the fact. That they're incredibly strong. My brain would revert to those all the time when I was angry losing a scalp. Yeah, it's bloody frustrating trading it sometimes. It just fries your brain, doesn't it? You know, you get into that trade. I don't know how it works. It's almost like you're being watched. I am being watched. It's almost like you're being watched. It'll trigger you, come down, stop you out, and then go in the same direction. But for me, because it's under the EMA, there's a little bit of a wick, and it didn't quite get down as low as I'd have liked. I skipped it. But Dan mentioned as well, I did say that it looked good on the 3000 tick chart, and Dan said, yeah, I noticed that too. Even the second entry before, yeah. Exactly that one as well, second entry. And then a second entry long here. What I like about it on here is we are above the EMA and we have trapped that bear bar. So we got a little micro with 2 legs down. And there is a lower high there. So there may be traders short in that. So on here, it looked much better. But at the moment, this first I've heard of people trading this one particularly. I know Dan started looking at it. So, you know, maybe it's the thing I like about the slightly higher tick charts is they're a little bit slower, and you've got a little bit more to 50% slower in effect, so you've got a little bit more time to plan and think and make your decision. So you know, even on the second chart, it didn't look too bad. We had a channel with a break and a new low, and then we had kind of rejection from this area, obviously buyers coming in, but I don't know. I've got my focus mainly on here, and for me, I just wanted it to bounce a little bit lower off support. So it's just one of those things. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You just have to, I mean, the simple thing is, easier said than done sometimes. If something doesn't feel right, just stay out of it. Because if you're getting into a trade that doesn't feel right, you can't really do it. And if you're doing it, you're doing it on emotions or impulse, and I'm trying to stop that. I've got a habit of doing that from time to time. I did it a few days ago. You know, you've really got to wait for it to see something that just says to you straight away, I like this, and get straight in. And it's rare I say that and get into a trade that doesn't work. So perhaps I just need to sort of trust my own instinct. And I know sometimes it might mean taking 3 or 4 trades a week or 3 trades a week, but much better to take 3, 4 winning trades than 3 bad ones and 1 decent one. You know, you're no better off. So much better, I think, just to not take. If something doesn't feel right, just don't take one is the simple answer. It is frustrating. We know where it's going, don't we? We've kind of had our eyes on this gap for a while, so that's a correction. And as Max says, often that's the centre of the pattern. Now, obviously, we've got this bigger move up here, so there's always a possibility that this thing ends up heading here. And, you know, I do hear people saying about those V-shaped recoveries, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets up to this level. We've had that big drop followed by a big recovery. So, you know, sometimes when you think these things can't go any higher, you look back at it now and we've got another 50 points. So I am aware that that's a nice looking correction. It is frustrating, isn't it? If you'd have got in here, you could have rode that up. If you'd have gone in here, you could have rode it up. But it's just one of those things. It's easy in hindsight. But when you're trading it live, it's very different. So we are, say, 9, so 5, 10, 15. We're about 16, 17 points off entering this gap. Traps are the easiest to enter because they make sense. Feel good? Yeah, absolutely. See, on this chart, there is a bearish bar there, but it's kind of an inside bit. It doesn't break higher, but on the 3000 tick chart, it does. We've got a little channel with a break. So channel break, clearly new low, and a bearish bar trapped. And once it starts to get above this, it goes a bit side. Once it gets above this, then it tends to sort of run up free then, doesn't it? I'm going to start looking through that 3000 tick chart. You know, I've said for a while, is it, you know, do sometimes, because it's fast moving, you know, do sometimes the emotions make you take, you know, riskier trades, impulsive trades. It would make sense if you slowed things down a fraction. You know, would that help? You know, would you sort of ease back on those impulsive trades? It's a possibility. Mm. I'm wondering if there is something slightly different. I actually don't mind that channel. It's a possibility. Thomas Wade's got it. Tell a lie. He's got it right down here somewhere. Oh shit, I hate it when it does that. Thomas Wade's got that like that. Not sure about that. Do you know something? That looks like a measured move in itself. We're not quite up there now. There may be a channel with a break, possibly. Hmm. It has bounced at support again, isn't it? Hmm. Does look like a little overshoot. Uh, push up, 2 legs back. Hmm. Got to get a couple of legs back, really, haven't we? We've bounced off. We've come back and we've bounced off support. It is frustrating. There's just no way in. But there was 2 legs back. Perhaps there is 2 legs. Perhaps it was good enough. Now we're almost here. 5, 10, we're 10 points away. Yeah, I've got yesterday's gap, haven't we? We've got this area here, haven't we? And then we into that gap, so There is a little channel to break new high. Now, in a lot of cases, these and lower highs come back to the EMA, but it's that bullish. It'd just be counter trend trading and it's just asking for trouble. It might work, but I doubt very much it's going to. There are sometimes in ranges and stuff where you can trade them. I'm looking more and more at those and then lower highs, but in such a bullish market like this at the moment, trading them and just asking for trouble. It is frustrating. We're getting close. We've had this massive move up, and it is a fair size move up. It's just nothing. I kind of wish that I'd taken that one, but there we go. Bear me just a second. Sorry about that. I don't know. I can't find nothing I like here. That's as good as I've got, I think. We push up, 2 legs back. That's kind of where you draw that from, I think. So that's about as good as I've got at the moment. It is frustrating. I mean, you can't go long here right close to the tops. It's got to come back at least to the EMA area, but with the exception of that one, it's a real shame that wasn't a bit lower because I'd have jumped all over that. It was just a little bit. If I'd have been trading the 3000 tick chart, I'd have taken that 100%, 2 legs back, and that is a nice high low. It's clearly above that EMA. And then look, eventually off it goes. What can you do? Tough trading conditions lately. There just hasn't been a lot. I can't remember the last time I saw a really high quality trade, to be honest with you. There's been something slightly off with it or slightly not good enough. That concerned me. That one there concerned me, that we hadn't cleared liquidity, and so much of the time we do, and then all of a sudden when it triggered, it went up and then it shot down. I thought, good choice there, but it held. It's so tempting. We got a channel there with a break. We hadn't made a new low. We'd made a matching low, but the fact is we hadn't cleared this out for me. This is only really a first entry. Usually it'll clear stuff. I mean, that I would have thought would have been an obvious place where price would have broken before it pushed up, but it's just up it went. It's just, you know, if I'd have had that channel there, that may have been a different story, but obviously at the time it was different. So, you know, it's easy. I mean, if Matt's got that chart now, it'd be easy to mark that one, but at the time, you know, you've got something like this with 2 legs back, but it's just one of those things. And it is frustrating to see this slowly grind all the way up here, but no way in. You can't just jump in randomly there. I've tried it before. It just doesn't work. And there's nothing more frustrating than when you do take a risk and think, oh, sod it. It triggers you and then comes and stops you out. It seems to know when you're in. Have you tried mixing the 1000 tick internet? I've looked at so many different types, to be honest with you. I've tried the 1000, the 10,000, the 4,000, the 2,000, a different 2,000 tick chart. What I will say is, though, Dan mentioned this 3,000 earlier. Now that I would have taken, I just didn't have it set up. Same again there, much better. Triple test right off the bottom. That's nice. That what I would have taken. So, I mean, it works like this. Just because I've looked at this now and because, you know, there's a great setup there and a setup there doesn't mean there's going to be tomorrow. It's just kind of one of those things. But I've looked at a few different types. I mean, I've had the NQ next to me and looked at that as well, just for a little bit of influence. But see, there's the 2,000 tick chart there. Sorry, 1,000 tick chart. There's nothing I can see there anywhere. Where was the 2 legs back? There were the 2 legs back. I will say that looks like kind of a nice correction. This is more two legs side by side, which is what I like. This is more, it's kind of in line, but the fact is we'd had a break and already had attempts. So it's just because I've had a couple of losses in a row, I really want to make a good decision on the next one. So it's just showing me when it's choppy like this, sometimes my patience get the better of me. So I just want to keep that patience and wait for something of quality. Because if you can read price action and you do wait for quality trades, it's rare they lose, really. But you just don't get many of them. That wasn't far away. If that had been sat, tucked on there like that, two legs back, sat nicely on there, I would have taken that. And those types of trades, you expect to at least get to the top. Whether I've had the nerve to hold it, I don't know, who knows. But it's just one of those things. It's weird how these markets work sometimes. If you do nothing, it just tends to work. If you do something, it tends to trigger and stop you out. I don't know how they do it. I mean, I suppose a lot of these are run by algorithms and very smart people program them, and that's just what I hear. How true it is, I don't know. But, you know, price is kind of works how it, picks up liquidity. That's just one of those things, isn't it? The more times you sit in front of these charts, generally, the better you get at reading them. The trouble is, when it is like this, you can't really take a trade up here. Now, if you're scalping a point, it's a little bit easier, but for me, really, it needs to at least come down to that EMA. And ideally, maybe somewhere down here. It's a shame about that. But it does go through stages. We've had stages before when it's been really great trading, and then others. I think it was the year before last, coming up to September, July, August. It was absolutely diabolical, and then September kicked in and it changed. It got much better. So it does have phases. At least that ATR's down to a much more respectable level now, 3.3. My average risk then is around about 175, something like that. I could deal with that. 200 and below, I'm all right with. I'd have to lose 12, 14 trades in a row to damage my account, so I wouldn't expect that to happen. So it's definitely working in legs price today, isn't it? Leg and a leg, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. Same again, leg and a leg, two legs back, leg and a leg. It's really kind of working out how we kind of like to think it would do or should do. But then we come down in this little micro, we hit a point and just turn up. No entry. Shame about that one. If it was a little bit lower, I'd have had a go at that. Same with that one as well. We'd had a break and a matching low, but as I say, most of the time it will pick off these liquidity levels, but it didn't, and went a bit sideways and up a bit, then a bit more sideways, and then eventually, once it got above here, it started to move. But now we're up here, and what can you do? So that gap is starting there from yesterday, where we gapped down overnight. I think that's where we started, yeah. So I would have said there's a good chance we at least get into it. Trouble is, if you see it come back and you take it and you don't do nothing, you see it come back. The one time it comes back and you jump in without a setup, it'll sting you. And that used to set me off on tilt, that. When I knew I shouldn't have waited, but my patience got the better of me. Losing a valid trade that I thought was okay, I can deal with them. I just put that down to lack of experience. But when I kind of knew that I shouldn't really be getting here, but because I'm seeing it have a massive move up and I'm trying to just get some of it, those are the ones I struggle with emotionally. Tempted by this short. What you got to look at is the last shorts. How did they work? It's pushing up. That short there triggered you, stopped you out. That one never triggered. That one there never triggered. I mean, this thing, it's hard to say. I just wouldn't do it in such a strong day. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but that's triggered in this thing. It's hard to say. I mean, it's going sideways at the moment. But I think really going short in a big uptrend like that is kind of pot luck. It may work, it may not. It's just too dangerous. And I'll tell you what will happen. You do nothing, it'll come down. If you get in there, it'll push up, stop you out. It's just weird, isn't it? I mean, it may work. We are going a bit sideways, depending how you look at this. I mean, the tendency is you think, okay, so we've had a channel break new high. We're at the top of the range. Sorry, top of the channel. It should come back. But sometimes it'll just trigger you and then push up and clear things first. It's weird. It may work, it may not, but I think it's a flip of a coin. I'll tell you who does trade those a lot is, what's his name? Bart. Picks those a bit. I just don't do them. But it may work. I think Bart's streaming, actually. Let's have a look. Oh, here he is. Oh, there you go. He is. And he's in a short. He's actually in a short. Yeah, he's in a short. He's a good trader, Bart is. I hope it works. It may do. Gets below there, that will help it. So his stop is above there, I think. Oh no, maybe here. I get the tendency as we're at the top, we've got to come back. And yeah, sometimes, but other times it'll go sideways and just shoot up and take everyone out. It's just, it's uncanny how it works sometimes. I've just given up trying. I used to have a go at stuff like that. You think we're at the top, let's go short. And every other time it does it. We get to the top, we come short. We didn't quite get there. And the one time you decide to get in, it triggers you and pushes up. You're going to have shorts there and quite likely there as well. But now all of a sudden we're moving up. So that's quite a target, that is, for liquidity, but it may work. I hope it works for Bart. I like him. He's a nice bloke. Go on, get down. There we go. Back to the EMA at least. Yeah, I just don't take him at all. I guarantee if I'd have taken that, it'd have triggered me and stopped me out. I've just given up. I don't even consider them anymore. You know, if we're in range days or something, we get a channel with a break and a new high, lower highs and that. I'll have a go at those types of things. But to be honest with you, right from when the market was open, we had that bearish bar, another bearish bar, and there we go. That's been a low of the day, and it's been going up ever since. It's almost like a repeat of yesterday. We're getting to this area now. See, we've got we've got that gap, but that is just a, I don't do patterns, but I think they call it a V-shaped recovery, but that's exactly what it is, isn't it? But it's frustrating to see that big move and not really much in the way of options to get into it. So we are bouncing at this area now. We have pulled back to here, but that's where the day kind of started. We had that gap down to there, which is here. So is this going to continue up? I think it's likely, yeah. There you go. So it came back to the EMA. Oh, you're kidding me. It came back and it's going to stop him out. Oh, that's frustrating. Where did he get in? Oh, he ended up losing that trade. That's a shame. I thought he was going to do all right there. So I think he got in there and it came down 3.5 points. That's a shame. I thought he'd have got out at the... I don't like to say that. I find that hurts more than a straightforward loss, getting profit and then giving it back. Oh, bad luck, Bart. Let's give him a like. Where's the like button? There we go. So Dan has got a slightly different chart now. That's not the one. Let's have a look. Big move up. Oh, he's got the same chart as me. Okay, happy days. I think. Yeah, he's also got a big. So I've got mine from those two legs back from here. Yeah. So at least we're thinking along the same lines. He's also got a possible other one. Now this is what I call a MAC chart. It's unusual. Now he's got that down there somewhere. He's got that like that. Unusual. Strange. Not sure about that. Maybe. Trouble is, we've come off from here. We're not touching anywhere else. I suppose the midline may be playing a part, but I'm not so sure at that at the moment. He's definitely got that one, so that's good enough for me at the moment. So it's frustrating. This comes back and then pushes up and stops them all out. Oh, Okay, so that's the start of that gap. So are we getting 2 legs back? Is this just a pullback? It's hard to say. I much prefer to take him lower. So I'd like a channel with a break and a new low and maybe down here. We've not been below the 3s in the ATR for a long while. So are we going to get another correction? This is looking like it to me. Every time we've come back, we've had a leg and a leg, we've moved higher. We've had a leg and a leg, we've moved higher, with the exception of this. But we tested support there. Yeah, I'll be surprised if we get this close to that gap and not at least attempt to fill it. We got a little channel there, can't take that really. On the other 2000 tick chart, there may be a little bit of an overshoot. So it may work. It's kind of bounced off support, but it's not our setup. We can't take it. Or I can't, for a Pat's point of view. You know, we have kind of hit support, but I don't know. We've got close and we're losing a bit of momentum. We come out to the NMA, we struggle with momentum. So for me, I'd like to see maybe a leg and a leg, maybe 1, 2, 3 triple tests, something like that. I don't know. Can't take nothing off here anyway, really. There's nothing there anyway, so. Can you do? Interesting to see if Mac marks that. Okay, excuse me just a second. Okay. Big strong move up there. I just can't take that. We haven't had a break and a new low yet. On this other chart, let's look at a bit different channel. 2 legs up. This could come down. Looks like it. That looks like a hidden second entry short. Now, I wouldn't take a short just in case, because it may trigger that and push up, but my gut feeling is this is probably going to come down for a second leg. This market's been really doing things the right way today. We move up, we have a correction, we move up. We had the one pullback there, but move up, correction. 2 legs up, correction. So it's really playing like it probably should do, this one. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test, channel break, new low. We'll see. So if you'd have bought that off that key entry point, trigger just stopped you out. So waiting for a second leg. We could adjust this a little bit. I don't think it fits. And why turn around macro hour? So on this chart, we've got a channel down, 2 attempts to push higher, and a break new low. You may even consider that a triple test. I'm just sitting tight at the moment. I'm just not, something just not doing it for me. We've got a break and a new low. This market's really playing the legs well, so it may come down and have a second leg. So we got a channel down, 2 legs up, 2 little legs down. Yeah. So if I was going to go lower here, it would have to be a higher low above that EMA. But this, you can see there, it's triggered that little bull bar there. So it's hard to say. what it's going to do. You may say bounce, 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 triple test, but I think it's a bit dangerous. I think it was going to work. It'd have worked by now. Channel break, 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. It's going to go that for sure. Unless, looking on this, but unless we trigger that short and we get a higher low. But I can't see how that would come nearly all the way down and not take out that high. It's tempting. 1, 2, 3. So that got stopped out. Ah, that's Max channel, that is. That one there. That makes sense. Okay, so leg and a leg. Now we have cleared out liquidity there, so now is that going to push up? Who knows? I'm just sitting tight here. Trouble is with these, if that is a correction, it's too close together. I much prefer them side by side like that. I mean, there's a possibility we could make a breakdown. Now I wonder whether we're going to do something like that. Yeah. Trouble is, for a correction for me, the trouble is they're too close together. There's always a possibility that we could end up. I don't think there is, but there's always a possibility that we're looking for a correction. You find an entry to go along you, it touches the top of the channel and comes down. I don't think there is. I mean, this looks like a break of this channel for me. I mean, we're clearly moving up. This is the you know, since kind of here, this is the, but look how sideways apart we push down, we go sideways. This doesn't, it just comes down, pulls back and down, which tells me it's more on the lines of a channel as opposed to a correction. So I always find the wider they are, the more reliable they are. And I just don't want to get in here. I mean, we're kind of floating in the middle of here, aren't we? It could trigger and push down to here. Could come right down. It may turn up now. It's just hit and miss. I'm just looking at Bookmap just to see if there's anything that where liquidity is. There's some down at 77, which is around about here. Now that would make sense. You can see support resistance across there. But there's also shorts at around about 93, which is kind of shorts around about 90, which is kind of around here. So, yeah. I mean, depending how you look at this, there's always a possibility there's been a break and we've just haven't kind of looked at it. Could have been a break and a new high or something. It's hard to say. This thing may continue down. I've got no idea, really. I certainly wouldn't expect it to finish here. There's support down here, so it kind of makes sense. But I really don't know at the moment. I'm not going to put a channel just yet. It's not an easy day today. See, when you see these big moves, you think it'd be easy to make money in these markets, wouldn't it? But it's so difficult. So, Max chart, I think. What was Max? Was it like that or something crazy? Max chart, something like that. It's all right. So that's Max chart there. So it needs to come down a bit. Right from that correction. So from there to there, no, tell a light. Off of the top there and then down. So that's what Max got. Is it right? Maybe. I don't quite know how he kind of reads it. What I will say is it's working along the underside of the midline there, and it's not too bad around the midline. So I can't say, you know, I can't turn my nose up at it. You know, the guy that trades this style has been doing this for 28 years. So if he's got that, I have to put it in a, you know, maybe, well, it's funny. I've said about 2 legs back and look where that second leg takes us to, support. And funnily enough, right at the bottom of this channel. So maybe he's right. Maybe we're going to have this, a couple of legs up and a second leg down and look for an order around here. Certainly not unheard of, is it? It wouldn't look terrible. So let's give it some structure and see how it works. So if we go down from there to there, and then maybe somewhere along those lines. Possible. We got orders at 77, which funny enough is right about where that line is. 10,000 tick chart. We're at the EMA now. So I'm going to pop that back because we could have a channel down with a break, 2 legs up, and then a second leg down, which will give us that. Excuse me. Trading's been really tough lately. It really has. There's just been not a lot in the way of setups. What I call it, what I call a really strong setup. So let's see what happens here. So it could be 2 legs down, it could be 2 legs up, followed by 2 legs down. So we got sell orders at 300 where I've got the top of my second leg. There's some buying at 85 here, which is pushing this up. 82, the buyers again are here, so maybe we are going to get a leg and a leg up to here, and then 2 legs back. It's really been working the legs really well. So 2 legs back, 2 legs up, 2 legs back. Now, leg up. Are we going to get a break? A second leg up, then 2 legs down? Maybe. Shoulder, head, shoulder, bearish pattern, down to support, off the key entry point, and off we go. You went long on a Friday. You went long from here. Yeah. Don't save me and let me out. Just not sure what's going on at the moment. So I see 2 legs, break of this channel. Max seems to think there's something else going on there. So maybe I've just drawn that 2 legs back, 2 legs up, 2 legs down. And funnily enough, when you look at it, it's a shoulder, head, shoulder, which is a bearish pattern. We should take us down here. Support down here. And Max got this channel. I'm not sure why he's got it, because he's got it topping off there and there in a couple of places. So, and it doesn't work too bad around the midline. So it'd be interesting to see is if that pattern follows religiously. I'm going to listen to every word Mac ever says. We'll see. Starting back at the gym tonight. First time for about 6 months. So I expect to ache tomorrow. To get rid of some of this frustration. No good at staying at home all day. To work on those abs, or ab. So, sell orders at 300, which would be there. You best stop drinking whiskey midstream. I have done, mate. I have done. I haven't had one for a few days. You don't know how it affects you. I mean, I never have more than a couple, which is a couple of pints, but even sometimes, You don't know how it affects you. It's Tuesday. Good point. Where is it? It's no, I'll have one at the end of the day on a Friday, and then drink the remainder of the bottle over the weekend. Didn't want you. No. The trouble is, it's not a good habit to get into, is it, while you're trading? Now and again I'll have one, but I'll probably be having a little bit more than I probably should do. It's not ideal when you're trading, really. I mean, I never have a lot. I have a couple, which is equivalent to a couple of beers, but does it affect you? Who knows? I can't recall me doing anything particularly stupid. I think a small amount maybe relaxes you, I don't know, but it's not a good habit to get into. You don't want to get your fixes, and you don't want to end up having a drink to relax while you're trading. It's a bad habit to get into, that, because if it works and relaxes you, you don't want to not be able to trade because you can't have a drink or because you have to have a drink. So, well, so far it's following me line. It'd be interesting. So we got a channel with a break. Let's see if we get a second leg up here. Now this market is working legs beautifully, so I wouldn't be shocked if it does. So we got a channel with a lower high there. Now if that triggers, it comes down to here, pushes up, stops it out, maybe picks off a bit of liquidity there, hits the 300 level, which funnily enough on Bookmap we got sellers at the 300. There's 400 odd sellers, whether it's sellers or orders or I don't think it's contracting more than that. So it'd be interesting to see whether that actually you just can't trade this at the moment. It's just so hard. We have had 2 legs down, but I'd just rather it follow me pattern a bit. You watch, it'll follow my pattern to the letter, and the second we get a bullish bar, I buy here. It'll trigger me and stomp me out. That's sod's law, that is. Yeah, I've just joined Pure Gym last night. They got an offer at the moment, half price for the first month, no joining fee. So I thought I'd start lifting some weights. I need to do something. I haven't been exercising at all lately. Passive, yeah, but a lot of the time it's looked at as liquidity, isn't it? So generally it moves towards there. Now whether they'll keep that there or not, I don't know, but there's orders at the 80 and orders at the 300, which ironically is right in between this. So it may go up towards those orders. Now, whether those orders get pulled, I suppose they do from time to time. But we know price moves to liquidity. So there's going to be liquidity there, I would have said so, and possibly there as well. So if it moves to liquidity, clears that area, and then we know there are passive buyers down here. So whether they hold. Okay, so far so good. The hell's happened? This thing's flipping. They are luck. 2 legs up, 2 legs back. Ticks. So leg down. I'll be surprised if this continues up. I am expecting a second leg down, 1 leg, 2 legs up, second leg, but you never know. We've just had a massive push up. Straight up. Well, what can I say? Straight into there. You just can't tell that. You just don't know it's going to happen. It just took off. Damn thing. It is frustrating. I mean, if we got this channel, 2 legs back. Wasn't really in much in the way of high or low there. It just gets congested, but then it takes off. No, you can't. You've just got to let it go. I get the temptation is to go along here, but we'd had the 2 legs up, which I kind of drawn. We could have come down again. You don't know it's just going to push straight up into this and start to fill that gap straight away. Once it starts, what I tend to do is when it starts to move like that quick, I just tend to sit back in the past, I've got a bit excited and got in. I had a trade last week that we were going sideways. Same thing. We had a strong push up and a pullback, and I got in. It moved, and I took up the limit order, and it triggered me and stopped me out. Now, on this occasion, it's continued up. We get a strong move up and a pullback, and it continues up. But my experience of jumping in when markets are excited and moving quickly, I think you're best off not do it. I mean, look at that. It's flipping frustrating. Congestion, it was, yes. You don't know it's going to do that. It equally could have, 2 legs up and then 2 legs down again, but it is frustrating. Look, we fill that gap almost to the tick. We have now more or less. Yep, there we go. Gap filled. So, I mean, look at that for a recovery day. We did that. We had that rally last minute, but look at that. Up, 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 up and away. It is frustrating to see such a big move and have no real way in it. I mean, that's got to move up. It's got to be 150 points in it and the rest. 155 points. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you'd have got in maybe here or here and just held, trouble is how far do you hold? I always think if you're gonna hold, you've at least got to follow the swings. So there's your first swing. Trouble is, once it gets above here, I'd be inclined to kind of follow it. But if I don't know, if you want to hold, trouble is if you hold from there, it goes up 16 points and you let it come down. You never know whether it's gonna, hit areas like this. But then we have 2 legs back and off it rockets straight up. I mean, that went quick. We were all of a sudden sitting here and bombed within the space of 5 minutes. It's rocketed up 36 points. Okay. US Treasury Secretary, is it Besant? Comments, JP Morgan event in Washington according to sources. So whether there was a little bit of red news, it may have been. I think Ben's just put that there, so whether that would have made a difference, it could well have done. What is that called? It is red news. Where was that? 2 minutes. That was like a minute ago, so Spike was the news. Was that you just posted it? Yeah, I've just brought it in, but it did look like it, didn't it? I mean, it's unusual just to do that quick, isn't it, without having something. I mean, it went up 36 points in no time. So we filled that gap now. So now where do we go? Is this thing going to continue on up? So if that's a channel, we've had a break and a new high. If this is the channel that Max got, there's an overshoot. So I wonder if we can incorporate this now. I don't know. I think you have to look at it as a break, I think. So we've had a break and a new high. So is this thing going to continue up or not? Ordinarily, 2 legs back, you'd be looking for a long, but at the moment, I don't see how we can. You have to sit tight for a while. Two legs back, bullish bar. Don't like the bar. Don't know where it is. This thing's played out, I think. God knows what's going to happen. You can't take a trade here. Certainly not long at the moment. I think you've got to sit tight. Doesn't look bad on this chart here. But now we've had a break in a new high. I think you have to just put longs on pause just temporarily. It's very tempting. Would have caught the entire move. I mean, you just never know where the thing's going to go, do you? So that 2000 tick chart to the left, there was 2 legs back and a bullish bar, and it seems to be moving up. But because we already had a break and a new high, I think you have to pause longs temporarily. I mean, it has moved a bit. There may be a higher low there, but I can't bring myself to get in here at the moment, I don't think. As tempting as it is. I think that's probably a safe place, but if you get in here, it's too far from that EMA, so you can do. Oh, excuse me. Triple test may be a better option. So let's have a look. Tempting. It's just 27 ticks. Now, I don't doubt there's going to be stops here, but Trouble is, we have a channel, we have a break. 1, 2, 3 attempts to push higher. You wouldn't want to be in that trade now, would you? So if you're in that now, your arse is twitching. Is it going to hold? Sometimes it'll do that, push up. But I can't see how that's not going to get stopped out. There's a second entry short. It's kind of a failure, isn't it? Depending on how you look at it. We've got this channel up. We pull back. We make 1, 2, 3 attempts. There is a triple test there. I'm just staying out of this because it's choppy. It may come down, trigger below there and push up. But it's 24 ticks, the same size as that. I ain't getting involved in that. When that starts to push up, I guarantee there'll be traders jumping in there. So if it does break below there, it may get come down with a bit of vigour. Gets above there, it's got half a chance of going higher, I think. There's loads of orders sat at 12 down here below all this. So if you did take that one, it came back, but it did hold. Trouble is, when you've had a break of the channel, a big strong move up, I think you've got to put on pause, I think, initially. Definitely caused that ATR to rise as well. That ATR was in the 2s a while back. Eight points. Yeah, it's climbed, isn't it? You got your 8 ticks. Good on you, mate. That's the main thing. It was tempted that when that triggered and come down, I bet you started stressing there. But it did hold. It is holding there, so fortunately it went up. But yeah, that's not what you want to see. Put it this way, if you get into a trade like that and you see that come back, you think for sure your days are numbered, don't you? But fortunately. I didn't want to get involved in that because it is a little bit choppy. You don't know whether we're going to have a leg down, chop and a leg down and break these lows. 12.6, but I saw it was stalling, yeah. Because ultimately, you never know. You could come back in 15 minutes and it might be up here, but it's easy with hindsight, you know. In real time, you just don't know. And there's nothing worse than, you know, deciding to take an extra few ticks and holding on and it miss, you know, it hits your 8 ticks, but doesn't quite get to your 12 or 10 and comes down and gets you. I think if you decide to go for more points, you've got to decide it and stick with it. You can't just do it out the blue. I've done that before, lost a trade before, lost a little bit more and decided to hold on a little bit to try and get some of it back. And when it goes and gets your normal point and then comes and stops you out, they hurt twice as much. So generally, I don't do it now. I just go for my normal 3 points unless I see something, you know, something special. So you can see there is a little bit of support here. Is it going to get through this? Who knows? Honestly, but I saw the bar was 8. Yeah. It's a big risk, 8 points, isn't it? The trouble is, because these markets move so fast, although I've got that 20 ticks, sometimes you're that focused, you don't compute, and you've got that, you know, you've got to kind of act on impulse to a degree. You've got that initial, I love the trade, let's get in. And sometimes you're in the trade before it's really dawned on you, you know, what size the bar is. And I know Max says it doesn't matter what size the bar is. If you've been trading as long as Mac, it doesn't matter because, you know, he knows his capabilities. But if you're the same sort of level as me, risking too much, and if it goes wrong, which, you know, market conditions are tough at the moment, if it goes wrong, it's painful. You know, was it 8 ticks? Even trading one contract, that's a $400 loss per account. That's a fair chunk to lose. If you're only going, for me, like 150 or 3 points. Yeah, I mean, if the trade's good, they usually go on. My only slight concern here is it's a little bit choppy. Well, I mean, usually, you'll hear Thomas Wade, we've had a break at a new high, so he pauses going for longs. So, you know, I can see prices are holding, but sometimes the market will throw you a curveball, and when that triggered, I bet you thought for sure that's it. When that comes down like that, straight away I'd be thinking, you know, we've had this move to a new high, we push down, we make 1, 2, 3 attempts to push high, triple test, trapping longs there. It could have so easy gone the other way. I think that was probably the better one or the safer one because you're not far off then from trapping shorts, but it's just one of those things. You know, trading's uncomfortable at times. You know, when you're winning trade after trade and your accounts are growing and you're getting payments like I had, you know, a few weeks ago, everything was right with the world. You feel fantastic. Then you get a couple of losses and then you start questioning things. And, you know, on top of that, you get a few bad days of chop or quite a lot of chop, high ATRs. You know, you start to have that, oh, God, you know what I mean? I can't believe this type of thing. It's amazing how you can go from feeling fantastic to feeling pretty naff. I just have to keep reminding myself, okay, you may not get any money this month, but you know, you've got accounts with 23 to 2600, 24 to 2700 in. You're not far away from another payment. And things can turn around. You've just got to play the game and just kind of trades. Matt risk 4,000 for 750. That's unsustainable. The thing is, if you've been trading for 28 years, Mac, and you can read these charts like the back of your hand, you can get away with that. I mean, for instance, let me give you an idea. Dan hasn't lost a trade since October and he goes for 6 ticks. So I'm guessing he may only lose half a dozen trades a year, if that. And in that case, he can. For instance, there was a failure there. If he'd have had that failure, he'd have quite likely run it. So I'm guessing he makes more on his runners. So if you're an exceptionally good, experienced trader, you can get away with it. Sean, how you doing? If you don't mind, please share again what you do to close your trade on Replicanto. You close your trade on Replicanto. If it doesn't, all I do is on Replicanto is click flatten all. And that close. You've got a big button on the left that says flatten all. Just hit that one, bud. The trouble is, yeah, at the moment we've had that channel up with the break and we've eventually made a new high. So it's just hard to trade this at the moment. We're right at the, you know, we're right at sort of, we're right at this level. We had the big push down. There's definitely levels up here, which you've got to pay attention to. We don't know whether it's just going to kind of rocket up. It may well, but I mean, that is a fair move, to be honest with you. And who knows how far it's going to go. Are we going to top off here and have a substantial pullback? God knows. That's the key for psychology, is to feel chill about money. Even if you lose it, your mind doesn't go through panic. Yeah, in fact, I was chatting with the scruffy trader, a British currency trader. He's been trading for 20 odd years. And he said trading becomes easy when you stop thinking about trying to make money. And yeah, he's kind of right. The trouble is, I had 3 really good months. I think I had about 23, 24 grand over 23,000 over 3 months. I had really good months. I had a great March. I just, every other day our account was hitting payment. It was a great feeling. Bank account looks nice. You got a bit of money aside for tax. And then this month's just been really tough. I haven't had a penny this month. Now, I got denied on a couple of them. I can't remember why. I can't remember. But I thought I want to get them all up to 3,000 and then trying to take 1,000 from each. And then I got up to 3,000, but I didn't hit the 8 days. So then I had a couple of losses, and they're around about the 25 to 22 and a half. So, if I can get them up an extra couple of $300, I could take 500 from each in a couple of days if I wanted to. But I think you go from different levels. The Apex used to do it. So when you hit 2,600, you could take the whole 2,000. And that's what everyone did. Trouble is, you're left with about $500 a drawdown, which goes nowhere. So then you're taking a risk and blowing an account. So then you keep doing it and keep doing it. And after a while, you realise if you leave it in there and just take a bit out, that way you get a bit of money, but you sustain your account. And now they've changed it again so that you have to keep $2,100 in there. I think that's better still. In an ideal world, I'd like to get my accounts to 10,000 each and try and aim whatever I make on top of that over a month, I'll withdraw, whether it's 500 or 2,000. It's a mind game, and you will do better trading when you have another business outside. Yeah. My wife earns pretty good money, and we get the money from affiliates, which is about $1,200 a month. And the bits I made last year, I made about 24,000 over the whole of last year. So with the affiliates, taking out expenses, it's making me a small wage, and it's making me enough. But because I had that money out, over the last 3 months, I think I had just about 11.5, just under 12,000, I think, for March. That's just with the affiliates. That's about 10 grand. Take 1,500 out for fees. That's about 8.5. Take a couple away put aside for tax. There's 6.5 grand going in your bank. So that, my bank's up kind of nice. It was up around the 20,000. My kind of bank balance. Now it's dipped a bit because I've had nothing. So you kind of want to try and make money every month. But if you're experienced traders, I've heard experienced traders, sometimes they have a red month. My understanding of it, once I started making it, I'm going to have a green month every month. Now, I think we just kind of, you tend to think great traders make money every single day, every single week, every single month, and it's just not the case. They still have their difficult times. The only difference is they take their losses and they have their red days, their red weeks, their red months, but they don't go on tilt and blow the accounts. But what I will say is, if you've got the patience to do this, there's no reason why you can't have a green month every month. Price action works exceptionally well, it does. But at the moment, it's just tough. This strategy, you need not to have a red month because a high win rate is required. Yeah. But I tend to go for an average of 1-to-1, my normal sort of risk. So, there's no reason why I should really have a red month. Put it this way, the last time I took a payment out was the beginning of April, and my accounts are around about the $2,100. At the moment, they're around about the 25. So I've had ups and downs this month. So I've probably only made something like $200 to $300 in the first couple of weeks, in the first kind of 3 weeks. It's been a tough month, I think. But, you know, the way I see it is if you've got 10 accounts and you make, even on a bad month, $500 over the, you know, per account, it's a small amount. You've still made $5,000 on a crap month. And that's just with 10 accounts, you know. So I think it's looking at the bigger picture and thinking, you know, okay, let's say I don't make nothing in 1 week. I lose a bit in the next. If I have 2 good weeks, even if you make yourself per account an average of $125, $150 a week, it's $500 a month. If you got 20 accounts, it's $10,000. And that's on a relatively poor month. It's the conditions for trading have been difficult lately because 1, the ATR has been ridiculous. 2, it's been so choppy. And more or less the same as yesterday. Max said there just wasn't that many setups, and I think that's the same. The setups that I've seen, I don't think it's been a terrible day. Those 2, I was tempted to take that, but it was about 8 points, so I left it alone. And I'm back onto minis now, see. But that worked. That one there, my concern was we got a bit of liquidity here and here, and this was going to come down. And when this ticked above and dropped quickly, so that one for me is just a bit risky. That one, I kind of liked it. My concern was it was below the EMA, and it wasn't quite at the bottom, and Dan avoided it, so I can forgive myself for that. Here and here, just not a lot really. It is 2 legs down, but I prefer these legs a little bit wider. I can't see nothing there. You can argue there's a higher low there, but there's 4 bars side by side there. So I just don't want to get it wrong at the moment. I just want trades that are, you know, really solid. Here, we've already had a break and a new high, so I think you just need to be cautious around here. It's a little bit sideways, and sometimes it'll do that, come down and stop you out. We get a leg down, sideways and a leg down, and often it'll do that. We'll get a little breakout that'll fail, clear out these and push higher. You never quite know when it's going to decide to do that. So this, for me, although it's giving the right signals, is still a little bit congested, so you've got to be cautious. And at the moment, I'd rather, you know, wait a couple of days for a trade and get it right. So it's just one of those things. It's been difficult lately, but, you know, some days, I think Dan said he hadn't took a trade in the first 3 days of last week, I think. And I think Dan takes a lot more trades than I do. So, you know, it's just one of those things. It's you know, sometimes you've just got to really pull on those patience and just think, you know, just wait. Because the one time you decide to jump in that you don't feel comfortable and you think your patience goes, if it goes against you, that is a mental whack. And I think you need to avoid that. You need to get into a trade that you believe it's a good trade and it's going to work, not because it should work or you think it might do, or, oh, my patience are gone, I want to get in, or I've missed this big move, let's have a go. Those types of trades are trouble, and they're just going to screw your head. I know, because they've done it with me many times. So I've just learned in the end, you know, I still have my moments of weakness. I still take something a little bit silly, but it's less and less. And I think I've learned, it's like anything, if you bang your head against the wall enough times, sooner or later, you're going to avoid it, because you know it ain't going to help. And it's just unfortunate. You know, things are a bit tricky at the moment, but, you know, if I can get an average of a trade a week, a winning trade a week, that's over $600 a month. If we have a particularly good month, it could be a bit more. You know, we all want to make great money. We all want to think that we can make $2,000 per account per month on 20 accounts and withdraw 40,000. You know, it's great. You know, and if you play it right and take the good trades, there's no reason why you can't work up to that level. But, you know, as everyone said, we've heard a million times, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. And I've had the same problem that many. I try and rush it. I try and grow too quick. And then in the end, when you give up trying to take stupid risks, you start to make money. So then you start to think, okay, Perhaps I should have been listening. You know, obviously with the emotions as well. None of us are born traders. In fact, I think they say human beings make bloody awful traders purely because of the emotions. But, you know, it's just, you just have to do what you think's right. If you think it's a good trade, you've got to take it. But you've only got to take it if you think it's a good trade and a clear trade. And then if it goes against you, you just got to put it down to lack of experience. Because price action, when you look at Dan taking 6 ticks and he hasn't lost a trade since October, you realise when you get good at reading price action, you know, how often you can be right. And if Dan hasn't had a loss going for 6 ticks since October, you can imagine how long it's been since Max had a loss, which is why going for a point, scalp, he's going to get it right 99.5 times out of 100. Just click Down's Discord link, but the messenger says fail to land. Hold on a sec. Okay, just going to all right, Wayne, I've just messaged him. Let's see if he gets me something. Oh shit. Damn it. I've just posted on Thomas Wade. That wasn't good. I've just deleted it quick. Oof, that's not good. That's a silly mistake. Freaking hell. Hold on a second. Okay, I've clicked on the right one. I won't be surprised if I'm banned now. Let's have a look if I'm banned from Thomas Wade. What is going on here? So leg down, leg down. Let's have a look. Copy message link. Let's have a go. Paste. There you go. Okay, 2 legs back. Let's have a look at this. What does it look like on here? Bar's better on here. Let's have a look.
Order submitted.
Let's see how it looks here. Oh, it's bar's just not great. Bar's not great. Ah, okay. Let me just close this a second.
Order canceled.
Okay. My mistake. Let's try this. Copy link. I think that's better. I think that's right. I think that's the right one. Sorted. Done. Excellent. Okay, so 2 legs back here. I don't like this one. There is support here, so let's see if we can get something that looks a little bit better here, or maybe a higher low. We broke above here, so there is, maybe as we testing it, so sorted. There is support here, I think so. If we can get a bounce here, the trouble is because we're below the EMA, we want to get a bounce and a push above that EMA really to take a higher low. There is a bunch of orders at 320 here, so so it is liquidity there. So maybe this is a leg and a leg. It's hard to say, so I'm just staying out of this short-term stuff. Does look like a bit of a channel. Okay, so I'm looking for something like that. Could be a channel with a break and a new low. It's hard to say. As I say, there are buyers. There's a chunk of buyers. Around the 20, there's more around the 12. So we've hit that 20 level. There's some a bit lower. So it broke below that 20 level where those buyers were. Let's see where this goes. Broken above this and pushed down below it. So there's always a possibility this could be starting to back a bit. Yes, $25 a month, bud. It is worth it, though. If you're trading Pats for sure, he's a solid trader, Dan is. Oh. Yeah, it's $25 a month. Let's have a look. How many people there's there? How many people has he got? I'm not sure, actually. Let's have a look. I think it says there's 37 there. Let's have a look. There. 36 premium. Looks more than that. Oh, no, there's more than that. There's 38 offline. So there's 70, 38, 75-ish, something like that. But you do get access to his daily charts there. Sorry, his charts there. Every now and again he puts his charts. And also as well, if you haven't watched this, watch those chart review videos. It's kind of everything you want from Mac, really, that little bit more detail. So if you are a member, go and have a look. I didn't realise they existed up until a month ago. Okay, channel down with a break. Looks like a channel to me. This other chart, if you go from the top, it's the same sort of thing, so I won't be going long here. I'm expecting another sort of leg. So I'm guessing this is vulnerable here. As all the channels are played out, if you've got a second entry short here, I wouldn't mind taking that. And we have got more orders down at 15, which is at this level, I think. Yeah, so channel down with a break. It would have to be a really nice second entry short, because I think that's vulnerable. I wouldn't want to buy there. You're kind of just floating in the middle, so I think that's vulnerable. Unfortunately, no way in, really. There is a lower high there. It's very tempting, that. Yeah, he said it's pretty far down to the lows. How far is it going to go? There's just nothing left, unfortunately. It's a shame. Yeah, it is now. I expect that to get stopped out, and possibly that, but getting on a limit order maybe. It's 24 points though. It's too low. The move's gone, really. There's nothing left, unfortunately. We're right at the lows. Well, in fact, we're right at the lows.
Order submitted.
I'm going to have a go. It's gone up and pushed down. There's going to be liquidity here. Got in a few ticks back, not as much as I'd like, but there you go. Come on, break those lows, come on.
Order filled.
Okay. I got in a few ticks back on a limit order. Not ideal, but we got a leg down there. What I know is we got a lot of buyers down here. So I'm guessing it's going to take that liquidity out, that bit there and that bit there. But at least they've got something for a change anyway. So I got in back on a limit order. Madman. Uh, 5-3-15. So, channel breaking up, bearish bar, lower high, bulls trapped here, liquidity here as well. So it broke below that. See, after this, 1, 2, 3, it's bound to be liquidity here. So once it got below that, it hit me 3 points. I thought it was worth it. Was a lower high. Yeah, I got in on a limit order a little bit far back. It was about here, I think. There was a 0.75 for there, but then you've got that a little bit later and that, so it worked. Yeah. You could turn on the little executions button and show us your fill. Oh, that there. Yeah. So, yeah, got on a few ticks back. So that was the, that was it there. So that's where I would have got in, I think. There's a tick. Yeah, so I got on about 3 ticks back. And it went for 6 points or anything less. But I got out there plenty of time before the lows. Once you start hitting these, now the reason I like these for liquidity is we've had this push up and we've had a bounce. And I know for a fact some of you guys said you went in there. So there's bound to be traders pushing that higher. So once we get sort of below there and we start hitting that and that, I expect it to hit me points, which is why I kind of... So, yeah, that's kind of why I don't mind it. And you are trapping longs there. So, channel down with a break, lower high. There's a good chance we make a second leg. Near as damn it, I think. Not quite a full second leg, but not a million miles away. And not only that, I know there's orders down here. So, I got a fair chance there's going to be buyers down here below this. As we know, market usually comes back and picks off these weak areas. These two didn't get touched, and usually these better earlier trades they tend to hold, but those two did. It's congested there, so a lot of the time market comes back and clear these out before it pushes higher. So there was a bunch of reasons I got in. I very nearly got in when it got back here, but then I'm thinking if it's heading towards me, once it starts to head back down, that's kind of when I thought, okay, I think it's worth a go, this. But there you go. Yeah. So push up. There is a higher low there, but we're at that EMA. So So what is going on here? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Is this thing going to absolutely tank? I don't know. I think I'm probably about done anyway. Let's have a look. What time is it? 5 past. Yeah, I definitely don't want to take a new trade. It's been a tricky couple of weeks for me. So I want to enjoy the win while it lasts. So I'm just trying to remind myself that it's okay to take losses. It's going to happen from time to time, but what you need to do is try and regroup, wait for a setup and take it. Process of elimination told me that was going to work. We had a channel down there, clearly 2 pushes up. So this to me is going to break these lows. If it breaks these lows, it's likely going to break that and then that. And it's exactly what it did. Once it got below there, it dropped. So that was kind of all I was relying on, really. And not only that, we have had a break and a new high. But the other interesting thing as well, with a push up, we had these pullbacks. I'm pretty sure some of you guys took those, didn't they? So there was a second entry long and then a higher low or a failure. So I'm guessing there's going to be traders trying to ride this thing higher. So once it breaks below there, it's going to hit that one followed by that one. And that's exactly what it did. So it's, you know, it's one of those things. Some take them, some don't. I thought it was okay. But yeah, it's one of those things, all part of the job. Just don't be consistent in stops. But I say this all the time. You know, when I take setups now, what I like to do is I'm thinking who's going to get stopped out here, because if there is stops, i.e. liquidity there, and a lot of times these things will come down and grab liquidity. So I keep that in mind in my decision making, and the fact that it crossed over or it went up, came down. As soon as it got below there, it came down quick, and I was kind of in and out then. But once it picks off these areas, so I think these areas are weak. 2 legs back. When I say weak, I don't mean weak enough to not to push up, but a lot of times the market will come back, pick these areas off before it decides what it's going to do. I got on a couple of ticks back. In fact, I got in 3 ticks back, so I only really went for 9 ticks. So 10 if you. Yeah, but it's a small move, really. But there you go. You have to kind of do it sometimes, you know. Dan's Discord promo, splash pays, mentors convention guide, trading for pats. Have you seen that? I haven't actually. It's quite a fun page. You should get involved in it if you're not. I mean, obviously it's a money, but I like that. I just give him a little bit of a laugh there. But I like this. I like to have it's nice to have Dan on kind of speed dial, if you like. If I ask him for his chart, he'll post it. You know, I believe he's a good trader. Man, what's going on here? So I think it's important in this business is to find people that you like and kind of get to know them and learn off them and you know, absorb stuff from them. This thing's flicking up and down. So I'm quite glad I never took that higher low there. I don't know how far much it went. Didn't go for far, no, so I wouldn't have got 3 points out of that. I think it came down. It came up to in, came down and stopped me out for a tick before obviously it eventually worked. But we do seem to have had a couple of legs down, and this thing seems to look like it's trying to, but it does look like a shoulder, a head and a shoulder, so you never quite know. But I'm just glad to get a winning trade. I've had a couple of losses lately, so there we go. So I am done for the day, folks. So I'm going to go and have myself a nice glass of single malt. So it's moving today. That it's not been a terrible day, I don't think. There has been some okay trades, I think. I've just been a bit super cautious. That one clearly worked. It clearly had buyers in there, so that one worked okay. That one again, I ummed and ahed about that one, but I left it. and that correction, that was something else. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, there's not as much chop today. It is moving. It has been really choppy. The ATR has come. It's a bit up a bit. When we had that quick move, that shot the ATR, but the ATR's come down a bit, so things have settled. But it's almost like a mirror image of yesterday's, really. We have a big drop and then a big kind of recovery. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. But better day for me, so I'm up a trade anyway. So there we go. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. Failing that, have a great evening. Wednesday tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do it all again. So have a great evening, stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.